Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. It's time for Off the Ledge. This is our daily spiritual check-in where we embolden ourselves with spiritual wisdom. The message I want to send out there is take note of anything that indicates or hints, at least hints at, that our work is working. And by that I mean our guided meditation for a healed America every week for years now. That's on Thursday nights. You can always go back. I hope that you do and do the meditations. Church of Spirituality, we've been praying for the last 5 years for a healed America. And there's an affirmative prayer that we say kind of at the start of Church of Spirituality that is affirming what we want to be so as already so. And I adapted that from Ernest Holmes' prayer for world peace and sort of made adjustments along the way based on what's been happening in our country. We affirm what we want to be so as if it already is. This is what the law of attraction is all about. So feeling the feeling of all the perpetrators of heinous crimes being arrested, being on trial, being held accountable, being held to the most stringent of laws and not being let off the hook at all, and not being able to delay things and postpone things and play with the judicial system to their benefit. We know who we're talking about. Feel the feeling of being vindicated. Feel the feeling that those who have committed the most heinous acts of cruelty and crimes against humanity, feel the feeling of them being their asses being hauled into prison. Feels good, doesn't it? Let's read from Ernest. I'm telling you, that's the way that it works. In this moment, the survivors of the Epstein horror are speaking out. And there's a vote today on releasing the files. There's a House vote on releasing the files. And here's what I want to say about it. I did a PNN last night, and I saw that it was going to be bounced here and bounced there and bounced here. It will pass the House. But then it has to pass the Senate. And if you've been paying attention, you're aware that none of this hullabaloo should be happening, because if Dumpy wanted to release the files, he would just say, okay, release them, right? Which he kind of did. But it still has to go through, from what they're saying, it has to go through the corrupt DOJ, breathlessly corrupt, abjectly corrupt. And I'm just going to tell you, the American people are not having it. So I did see a bunch of bumbling, before it all gets released. But let me tell you something about that. It doesn't matter. The survivors are speaking out. The evidence is out there. We might see a drib and drab of it coming out, but it's also heinous. And one more thing before I read Ernest. He's already admitted how guilty he is. Donald Trump has already admitted how guilty he is by how bombastically off the rails he's been whenever it gets brought up. Whenever somebody says the name Epstein, he has a complete, total hissy fit. Might as well just say I'm guilty. Right? Am I right? You know what I'm saying? Boy, we're getting to the end of this book. It's amazing. There's a new moon in Sagittarius coming up in a couple of days, so it's gonna be a good time, because that's justice and truth. Faith. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Faith is more than objective statement. We do not have perfect faith, while any subjective contradictions deny the affirmations of our lips. This is why the Bible tells us that that we must know in our heart. It's exactly what I was just talking about. Feel the feeling. Heart symbolizes the innermost center of the being. Go into the cave in your heart. When the intellect is no longer contradicted by our emotional reactions, by unconscious doubts and fears, then the word of our mouth will immediately bear fruit. Today we have faith that our word and our feeling shall not return unto us void. Today we surrender ourselves completely to this faith, for we know there is a creative spirit that gives substance to this faith, and that will provide the evidence of this substance in actual fact. We expect then to meet our good, and we rejoice in the anticipation of this good. We know that our faith operates through an immutable law, and that there is no possibility whatsoever of its failing. And so it is. I just said that, Ernest. Here's Ernest. I just said that. We're all one mind. Even when the one mind includes people who are on the spiritual realm and not in the physical. Here's Kathy Beal of EmpowermentUnlimited.net giving us the astrological forecast for today.
Kathy Beal of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro Insight for November 18th, 2025. Okay, it's a little bit still. It may feel like you're in a slow whirlpool. Welcome it if you can possibly do that. Retrograde Mercury is re-entering Scorpio and bringing the opportunity to get really, really deep and dirty into research, uncovering things, figuring out where something went sideways, restructuring, and finishing very important projects that went by the wayside. He's going to be in this mode until well into December, so don't feel like you have to hurry and clean something up, but pay attention to your spidey vision. Pay attention to your cells. Pay attention to your knowing. That's all for now. This is Kathy Beal.
Yeah, Mercury in Scorpio today is, I just wanted to see time frame. Mercury goes into Scorpio at 10:20 p.m. So we're building up to that. And how perfect, because Scorpio has to do with digging deep inside of things. If you have any Scorpio in your chart, I've got a lot of Scorpio in my chart, it's you want to dig into things. You want to get to the root of things. You want to be like, how does this work? And what can we find out, right? It's a very curious, it's a sign, Scorpio's a sign that's very curious about things, but not just curious on the surface, like we want to dig deep. So if you have Scorp rising like me, you probably have that tendency. And if you want to know more about your astrology chart, your birth chart, get in touch with Kathy, EmpowermentUnlimited.net. Okay, let's pull some cards. I hope you're enjoying the day. Being a fire sign, I like it better when the sun's out. It's a bright sunny day here. Rainy days are fine. I just really I like sunny days more. I want to mention too, I'll do a PNN and upload it a little bit later. Last night I was watching a documentary on the History Channel about the Roman Empire, and I had never really looked at the life of Nero, who fiddled while Rome burned, and it's widely kind of surmised that he started it. He started the fire. If you look up the history of Nero, the Emperor of Rome, I'll read on it later. It's like Trump. It's really like the same kind of thing. But speaking of history, I've heard, and I knew it was going to be on ahead of time, but I've heard from different people. I haven't even had a chance to watch it yet. Ken Burns' documentary on PBS about the birthing of America. So I'm excited to watch that. So check it out. I heard from various YouTube channels mentioning it that it's amazing. And Ken Burns is quite amazing. Okay, so today we have, you're going to hear a lot of projecting. It's a Democratic hoax. The Democrats did it. The Democrats this and the Democrats that. Donald, I don't think it's working anymore. Maybe it worked for a little while, but it's not working anymore. And this is a completion of that. This is like, okay, enough of that already. Enough of the gaslighting and the chaos and the projecting. We're done. We're done with that. We're finished with that. We've had enough. There's a real strong energy in the air of, you know what? He's pissed off way too many people. His days are numbered. And I foresee a day when we're all watching him leave the White House. And it's not in 3 years. It's pretty soon. So even though I didn't want to get into predictions right now, I'll do that later. That's really coming through strongly. All right, please hype me. If there's a hype button there, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you to all of you who help. And members, you have access to all my members only videos, which teach you a lot of things. And subscribe. Please subscribe. Help me to grow my channel so I can make it stay afloat. Namaste. Book a reading, psychicannetdion.com. See you soon. Bye.